Because now we are connected with Dr. Rayinda Raumanen Mamahit, a
Okay.
psychiatrist at Siloam Hospital, Kebonjeruk.
Oh,
Hello, Doc.
good. Okay.
How are you?
Hi,
How
Dr.
are
Rai.
you? Hi,
Oh,
Duda. Hi,
beautiful.
Rahman.
Hi.
Morning.
Okay,
Hi,
so good
morning.
morning. Good morning. Yes, you did mention something, Dirza. Now let's just confirm it with Dr. Rai here. First of all, Dr. Rai, I cannot help it. I like everything to be nice and tidy and clean. Even if I put something just like this one, the sprayer, I like to put everything aligned. I don't know why. So my first question is, oh no, can you explain more about OCD and the causes, please?
Okay, thank you, Rahma. But first of all, let me explain you about this obsessive and compulsive disorder. First, it is a disorder. Disorder makes you feel like a burden to yourself, makes you feel distressed, very distressed. And the first terms is obsessive. Obsessive in here means obsessive thoughts. You know, it's not like the original thoughts or ordinary thoughts. It's like this intrusive, really recurring thoughts, and it's kind of a bit really irrational. And the second thing is compulsive. Compulsive is a behavior, is an act that's related to your obsessive thoughts, and you do that like excessively to reduce the anxiety produced by the obsessive thoughts. I think, yeah, that's OCD.
But, Doc, what's the difference between perfectionism then? When we know a lot of people that might proclaim themselves to have OCD, but they're just a perfectionist. How do we distinguish from both?
Okay, thank you, Dirza. And I think it is very clear that OCD, the D is the disorder. Disorder really makes you feel uncomfortable, really makes you stressed, probably affecting your health, affecting your work, affecting your relationship. And perfectionism is just a trait. It's a trait that we want to do things in a certain order or in a specific way, but it's not a threat to your daily life. It's not a threat to your relationship. It's not a threat to your work or career.
Okay. So from perfectionist, is there any chance that it can be elevated to OCD?
Okay, that's a very great question. I think the answer is yes and no. Not always a perfectionist develop into OCD. That's of course because OCD is really a disorder that involves your brain and the way the chemical in your brain did. And the perfectionist is just probably the way that you are raised or um, your parents taught you about things and you just did the way they did before.
Okay.
Doc, are there any tests or like diagnosis that we can do to find out whether someone has OCD or just a perfectionist?
Oh, okay. There can be a way to diagnose. First, we have to go to the thorough interview, like very detailed interview by a professional, of course. And there's always a questionnaire, but it can't diagnose you very well. You have to talk to the expert, and you will share the sign and the symptoms, and we will conclude the diagnosis from that.
Right. Okay, so starting from that. But I'm really curious, Dr. Rai, what are some examples that you can actually tell us of compulsions?
Okay. Compulsion. From what I explained before, it's an act to the obsessive thought. Okay. So first, you have this obsessive thought. Per se, the obsessive thought is a fear of contamination. I'm so sorry, like you did before.
Oh no.
and and the compulsive act is to just clean things, wash things, but it always depends on the obsessive thoughts first. It's not always cleaning things. It's like they have four different themes. First is fear of contamination, dirt, germs, viruses, especially in this pandemic era. Second, there are fear of harming themselves or others. And other things are needed things to be in perfect order. And the fourth one is collecting or keeping stuff that's really piling up until someone's house is very full. There are a lot of obsessive things and there are a lot of compulsion. Depends on that.
Well, Doc, it seems that our friend right there, Shafira, is as curious as we are about OCD. I think she has a lot to ask you.
Okay.
Hi, doctor. How are you? And there's
Hi, Shafira. How are you? I'm good.
I'm good. Thanks, doc. Thank you for your explanation. And from the conversation between you, Dirza, and Rahma, we figured that OCD is one of the disorder situation. We have a problem, so we have to be sure about the situation. So, doc, there is still plenty of misinformation about this particular issue. So I want to discuss the facts and myths about OCD. Is it a fact or is it a myth? But to know what people think, I want to ask Rahma and Dirza first. Then, please, doctor, you can confirm to clarify which one is the right answer. All right, doctor, are you ready?
Yeah,
How about you?
of course.
Dirza and
Very
Rahma,
ready.
are you ready? Because I'm going to testing you out, guys.
Okay,
All right?
let's do this.
All right, let's do this. Number one, not all people with OCD are organized. Is it fact or myth?
I think it's a myth.
I should disagree.
Is it a fact or myth?
It's a myth.
Dirza?
It's a myth.
It's
I think
a myth?
Yeah, it's a myth.
It's a myth? All right, let's check out with the doctor. Doctor, is it fact or myth that not all people with OCD are organized?
True, it is a myth. You're great, Dirza and Rahma.
Okay. So it's a myth, doc. So basically,
Yeah.
not all people
Yeah.
with OCD are organized. People with OCD can have an organized life as well.
True. Because the obsessive thoughts, it's not only to organize things. There are other things, there are other stuffs going on. Like we obsess about collecting stuff
Yes, yeah.
from our old days, like hoarding stuff.
Yeah.
Like we collect things that we think like they have sentimental values,
Right.
and it's just piling up. It's not organized at all. So that's a myth.
Okay, let's go for number two. This is fact or myth that people with OCD are obsessed with cleanliness. Is that
Oh, for
fact
me,
or myth?
yes.
Rahma,
Everything needs to be clean.
can you answer this
I think it's a myth, no?
questions? Is it a myth or it's a fact?
It's a fact.
It's a fact?
Okay.
Rahma, it's a fact for you? All right. And Dirza, what is your answer?
It's a myth because the doctor just said that hoarders does have OCD as well, and some of the hoarders I know are
All right.
filthy.
Let's check out to the doctor. What is your opinion, doctor, about this? Is it myth or is
I
it fact?
think I'm gonna agree with Dirza for this one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it is a myth.
All right.
Because when people obsess about something harmful will happen to themselves, they compulsive being checking things like people when they always check on the stove,
Yeah.
is it on or is
Yes.
it off, or they always check on their car,
Yeah.
is it already locked
Yeah,
or
yeah.
not.
Oh,
That's also an
okay.
OCD.
Yeah.
And it's not
There's nothing to
related
do with
cleanliness.
cleanliness. Okay.
But I do, Shafira and Dr. Rai, I do check on my car. I mean, but not that frequently because yes, I do check on my car because there's lots of burglars. Hello. Okay, I have a very good reason.
I don't know. I think I have that kind of disorder as well because I keep on checking on my plug. I put the plug for my hair
Yes.
stuff, you know, the electricity.
Yeah.
I have to come back to my room to check in. Is it I plug off or plug in?
You can
Oh my
just say
God.
to the doctor so
Oh
she
my
won't,
God.
diagnose us with
That's
OCD.
a
Just say,
bad level of
"That I forget easily because we're over 35. Just say
Oh my
that.
God. Hey, I'm only 22. All right. Let's continue, doctor. This is number 3.
Okay.
People with OCD are compelled to do excessive, repetitive daily activities. Is it fact or myth?
It's a fact.
I think.
It's a fact.
Because
think
doctor
it's-
just
I will
mentioned
agree
They
with
have
you.
like a certain
Previously.
schedule.
They have a certain
Rayinda,
pattern.
You're cheating because the doctor has mentioned
Yeah, I know.
previously. Oh my God. Okay, doctor, can you please explain about this?
Okay, for this one, I think I'm not gonna agree with you, Dirza.
Oh, it's a fact.
Gotcha.
It is a myth.
Oh,
It's a
it's a
myth.
myth.
It is a myth because the repetitive of daily activities, the compulsion is not always a daily activity.
All right.
It's a mental act. Okay? It's a mental act.
Okay.
So the repetitive things could be words.
Okay.
You say specific words,
Right.
or you count things. Like I have this patient. He always like say the numbers of the car. You know, when car passes him by,
Okay.
he always say this number
Okay.
repetitively and excessively. That is the key word. So I think when you guys said about checking things, unless it's very excessive
Yeah.
and like burden to your daily activity,
Yeah,
it's
true.
all right.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah, it's okay. All right, let's go for the last one, doctor. It's about obsessions, compulsions of people with OCD can be brought under control. Is it a fact or myth?
I think
Rahma and Dirza.
it's a fact.
I think it's a fact. There should be drugs to keep it, jarred up. Right, Doc?
Yeah, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong, please.
What is your comment, doctor?
Okay. There are ways to keep the OCD under control and also to reach recovery, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's not a myth. That's really true.
Okay. All right. That's a fact. So, doctor has explained to us what is the fact and the myth around OCD. So, I hope people don't get mixed about the information. So we can learn about this and we can define ourselves. Are we have OCD disorder or not? If you do, you feel the symptoms. Probably you can seek help to professional
Yes.
like a doctor. All right, I'm gonna get back to you, to Dirza and Rahma to continue the conversation about the OCD. Please, guys.
Okay, thank you, Shafira,
Thank you,
for the
Shafira.
fun game. Okay, Dr. Rai, you have not diagnosed us yet. Okay, so I think we're pretty normal again because we're over 35. Sometimes we can forget. Okay, but Dr. Rai, I'm just helping myself here. Dr. Rai, I'm trying to understand: is it true or not that people who is diagnosed with OCD, most of them are like, special types of genders like females or males. Is it true? It's more to the females.
Okay. This is a very tough question
Yes.
because there are a lot of research to this epidemiologic stuff, but I think it's divided. There are a lot of men suffer also from this disorder,
Right.
and there are also females, and I think it's 50-50 on this.
Okay.
Okay. Doc, I've got one last question for you. You told us that OCD can be treated and cured. And what are the typical steps of treatments that could bring us to that cure?
Okay. There are two ways to treat the OCD. The first one is the important one, the most important one, is psychotherapy. It's like this talk therapy between you or the patient and the therapist. Therapist can be an expert or professional, doctor, psychiatrist, especially, and you will tell about your sign and symptoms, and the therapist will encourage you, will give you support to overcome this exceptional fear or to reduce the compulsion.
Okay,
And
okay.
the second way is there are medications, of
Yes,
course.
yes.
To reduce the fear and the obsessive thoughts, and also to reduce the compulsive behavior.
Okay, okay. Now we understand more, Dirza. So thank you so very much to Dr. Rayinda Raumanen Mamahit. She's a psychiatrist at Siloam Hospital, Kebon Juruk. All the best for you, doctor. Keep safe and keep healthy, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you
Bye
so much,
now.
Rahma and
Thank you.
Dirza.